Good afternoon and/or evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the grand finals of the Bleed Out tournament right here on Kissme's channel. This has been a tournament that's been going on since April, and I cannot believe we have finally reached the end. We have two teams ready to play right here in front of us on the map, Dead Before Dawn. I am Rails Barlow, one of your tournament administrators. There are $2,100, count them, on the line between the healthcare professionals and Team Serenity. My co-caster for this grand finals match is the one and only Mr. K3. K3, I am pumped.
I am also extremely pumped. This is definitely one of the biggest matches certainly in recent Left 4 Dead 2 history, but I can't think of any recent tournaments or matches or anything that's been close to as big as this. And we're actually going to have some people taking home legitimate money for once from Left 4 Dead 2 tournament, which is just exciting in itself. The community has definitely pulled together its efforts to make this all happen, and I'm really excited to see it all come together here.
Indeed, we are going to be going live right here. It's the healthcare professionals from North America on the Survivor side and Team Serenity on Special Infected. If HCP wins this game, they win the tournament. If Serenity wins, we play another series between the two because HCP did never get knocked down into the lower brackets. They are still in the upper brackets. And real quick, before this first hit, as we are live, let's do a quick roster rundown. For Team HCP from North America, it's Dr. Bravo, Dr. Supra, Dr. Purple, and Dr. Dustin. Who do we have for Serenity here, K3?
For Team Serenity, we have Thug Life, Salty, who is Dane, MC, and Miro, and they are currently getting completely shut down by Team HCP. I would have loved to catch that last hit, but not a whole lot happened. Boomer got popped, Charger got pretty much shut down, Smoker got a couple ticks of damage, and that's about it. And we're going to be having a tank up pretty soon here.
We are starting off on the North American server, so we're going to play one game here and then one game in the European scene. And I think actually this is indeed a Chicago server to start, as has been the marquee selection for both of these teams in their previous matchups. And we are going to have our first tank of the grand finals up into the hands of Thug Life for Team Serenity. We only have an HCP Worm, and right now we are going to keep it right here for the Survivor side round for them. And K3, the theme, I would say, for Team HCP throughout this entire tournament is that on their home server, they have been fantastic.
I mean, these guys have such an amazingly dominant Survivor play that, it's not really a surprise that on their home server, just with the ability to shoot everything accurately with no latency issues, that they're just going to overwhelm pretty much anyone. That came as a surprise to me, and it's really going to come down to, I think, just how well Team Serenity's SI are going to be able to stop this, and this in-game audio with the custom sounds is really throwing me off right now.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, this tank in the hands of Thug Life is on second pass. They have a Boomer, Smoker, and a Charger for this hit, and I believe they are going to have to commit off of this. And indeed, Thug Life is going to start working his way in. Dead Before Dawn, the custom campaign that we're seeing. We have a hatchback here that he's going to be putting into play, and HCP are going to try to kite him around this Cactus Grill sign. That card is getting a little bit closer to them, but they are already ready to rotate off of it. I believe that might be the only hittable that he's got to work with. And the thing is, there are no spawns right now near where HCP are, and they've already got this tank down to 5,000 HP, throwing an overhand rock, going to get skeeted, and he's having issues getting anywhere close. And that car is going to bounce over to the side. Thug Life throwing a rock, going to miss that rock onto Bravo. Now he's pushing Bravo, getting a punch onto him, knocking him around to the side, and the Charger is going to land. Boomer gets popped. Smoker is also going to try to find another target, and Thug is going to try to work his way over to this car right here. That's a full end cap going out onto Bravo, and now a rock's going to go around the corner. They managed to clear that Charger, but Thug Life is going to have that hatchback as the only thing left because he only has 33 HP, and he's going to be shot dead. That was a one-hitter tank K3 aside from that Charger in cap.
Yeah, the Charger did a nice job of salvaging what little that tank had, because once that car went out and the tank was just surrounded by the survivors, it was really not looking good for the SI, and I think HCP, regardless of the one in cap, still did a really good job at mitigating that tank damage. However, they still have a very long map 1 left to go with all kinds of different hazards, including errant helicopter blades and alarm cars and so forth. So we do have this hit coming in here. One boom is going to go onto LSO. Very nice skate going out there by Purple onto Dane. Smoker gets instantly cleared. Spitter goes down on absolutely nothing as his teammates completely got obliterated by Team HCP. And this, this is the kind of Survivor play I'm expecting to see from HCP all throughout this game. We've seen it from HCP as it carried them all the way through the winner's bracket and retains their lead in their current position. So, you know, just constantly and very impressive play coming up from them. We do have one more hit coming up here. It will be a Hunter Charger Jockey and Boomer up over here. And there also is a Witch, and it looks like they're probably going to try to draw this Witch back into the open.
I would say so, yeah, but I think there actually is an alternate path they could decide to take if they want to. It's a little bit longer, but that's one of the things about Dead Before Dawn. It's a map that has a lot of possibilities and a lot of quirks, and also a lot of fun sounds, as we were hearing from that helicopter starting to arrive. And ATP just being safe about it, baiting it out. They found another set of pills as well. Bravo's the only person bleeding, and I think they probably could also use Bravo as their Witch drawer, but the Witch is actually in an interesting position. She's inside the bushes to the right-hand side, and ATP really doesn't have to rush much of anything. The helicopter's kind of just chilling above them right now, and honestly, they could just decide to go full on to the right-hand side, but instead, they're going to sit here and just bait it out. Now, Bravo has drawn the Witch around the side of the white van right there. Charger going out, Magdalena double charge, and that is going to be the Witch landing on a Bravo as well. That's a full in cap going out on him, and the Hunter's going to win. That Witch still is nowhere near dead, and Bravo is going to get killed by that Witch off of that hit. Oh my goodness, what a disaster for HCP on the North American server. Bravo is dead, 3 people are boomed, and K3, that was catastrophic.
There's a meme to be made here about Bravo and Witches, but I'm gonna let the spectators go ahead and make that because it's a little bit obvious at this point. But I believe that path to the right does lead them back to the safe room, and so I think that the alternate path is the one that they already took. So they had no choice but to face the Witch there, and HCP just going in there and completely ruining their day. Bravo not able to secure that crown, and now after taking that tank in a very commanding fashion, Team HCP has to deal with a death here, and although they still have 3 very skilled survivors up with lots of health, so by no means count them out of making the safe room with a good health bonus, as that Jockey does get shut down very nicely, Smoker gets cleared off quickly, Spit goes down on nothing, and Charger gets shut down also. So, you know, they are proving right now in front of us that they are capable of taking out these hits with just a 3-man shutdown. So they're going to continue to push their way into this house.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they have a few hits still to deal with, and they actually have an event tackle as well before they... I just cannot believe that they let someone die. That's the problem, okay? So, here we go. If we're going to try to say, all right, pacing on the 2 servers is what matters, one person dying to a Witch is something that you really don't want to happen, especially when you're on that low ping. And the problem is, even though HCP still have those 3 survivors up, if one good hit lands with Common or something like that, they could be wiped on the first map, which has a lot of like scoring potential in Dead Before Dawn. And then Serenity's going to be able to have, unless something insane happens on the away server, Serenity plays very, very well with their low ping, and this would be a great chance for them to capitalize. And honestly, the slow play that we saw a little bit earlier, just trying to kill that Witch, is now also going to be replicated here, because HCP knows with only 3 survivors up, they are at a huge, huge, huge risk. That Hunter's very, very chipped. Boomer gets a single boom. This would be when they elect to send it if they do, and we do have the Smoker going to get cleared. Hunter manages to land on to Purple for a split second right there. Actually, that was Super that landed on. And besides that, that hit got cleared. But again, K3, every single hit has the potential to be a wipe now.
It sure does, but at the same time, I think we have to just realize that this right here is going to really set the momentum up. So if HCP manages to make the safe room after going like half the map with just 3 people, especially with health bonus, then that's going to, I think, put the momentum in their favor. We do have the stick going here, trying to stop that momentum as I speak. We actually do have a nice 2-cap going out there. Charger is going to land there. Spit's going to get blocked by Coach unknowingly with that huge Coach hitbox that we all know and love. Then Super did take a little bit of damage from that Smoker as well, but not a whole lot coming out here. And, you know, if the survivors keep this up, then I think they're going to retain that momentum going into the next map, just showing what kind of powerful survivor dominance that they have. However, if they do get wiped, then I believe that the momentum will be firmly in Team Serenity's favor, which is not going to bode well this early on their home server.
Exactly. We have another hit coming in. Spitter is going to pre-spit right there. Hunter gets nicely skied, and about this area is just, even though that jockey management, I think Ellis might have been stuck there for a second as well, but this area right here is very, very easy for the survivors to deal with much of anything, because there is a event triggered in the front, but they can just block all the spawns and then sit in the back like that. Now, more common indeed are going to be funneling their way in, but they can just back up from everything, keep the back blocked, and kill whatever comes at their faces from the front or the side room right there. And obviously, they could also put someone in the side room up there to block it, but instead, they're just going to elect to have 3 shotguns in the back. Spitter does get picked before it spits, and I think there is a little bit more common, but they're kind of just chilling outside right now, and then after that works, then Team HCP should be able to kill the rest of that horde and then try to find their way to the safe room. But they have a couple more hits to take, and here the common come down the hallway right there, and Dusty is going to be bleeding out for the duration of this.
Yeah, well, the door is now open towards the safe room, so they are able to run out as soon as they take 1 hit. So I think this is probably going to be Serenity's last chance to try to take off some of this health bonus. Still, even just with 3 people, 231 health bonus left on these survivors. Most probably just because they lost so much damage bonus upon the death of Bravo. So survivors will be trying to make their way into the safe room right now. I think the SI are struggling to find any kind of good spots, but they do find that smoke off in the back on Dusty, who was separated. Double Woo is going out onto the survivors. This could be disastrous. His coach cannot clear that. Hunter does go out onto Rochelle and manages to get a little bit of damage. It was extremely close to a wipe. We saw Smoker go out on the back, but the Charger just was not able to capitalize on that, and Hunter just landed a little bit too late to get onto that double boom when the survivors were separated. So nice clears going out regardless of their situation, and a nice attempt by Team Serenity to wipe Team HCP. But they will be making it into the safe room with a 145 health bonus. So not a total disaster for HCP, but definitely not what they could have made coming out of that tank.
In my opinion, that's way, way, way too low a score to have on the first map right here when you're on your home server. I mean, typically what you like to see off this is maybe like an 8 or 900 from what I've seen, and that actually gives Team Serenity, if they just manage to kill that tank in a similar fashion to what HCP did, they could even be taking the lead here in the Grand Finals on the North American server. Obviously, we have an entire other game to play after this, and both these teams have a lot of experience playing on that ping, but right now what I would be concerned about the most if I'm Team HCP is just trying to do work as SI here and keeping that lead going into map 2. And we are live here, Team Serenity with their first survivor half of this grand final series of the Bleed Out tournament. Let's see if they can replicate that success. They're going to clear all the common out from the top of the roof right here. And K3, that's something about Dead Before Dawn that's been noted over and over again in its use in CCTs. It has a lot of variance in terms of its areas going from indoors to outdoors.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that out of all the custom campaigns that I've played, at least in a competitive sense, this one has an overwhelming amount of commons sometimes. It can just be, like, just absolutely insane, especially during some of the events. Just the sheer waves of common just flowing at you is just intense. But yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, even if Team HCP does go down by a small deficit at the end of this map, they still got 4 very long maps with lots of point potential out. Very nice pop going out there by MC onto Supra. Charger is going to land. That was a nice 2-cap going out there for a few seconds, but the clears were there. All the shotguns just mowing down those SI, and pretty similar damage to what we saw HCP taking off that first hit.
Yeah, and I would say in a situation like this, multiple shotguns probably are the best weapons to utilize, especially since Team Serenity are the ones starting off playing on ping. HCP usually likes to run a lot of shotguns anyway, because all those players are very adept at shutting everything down with their shotguns and their melee weapons. It looks as though they baited to the right-hand side. Now we're going to move back to the left. That's going to allow HCP to get another hit up here. It's going to be a Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a Charger for this next hit. Let's see if they can make it work. And looks as though Serenity still are going to be playing it slow. And obviously for the grand finals right here, I don't expect a whole lot of yodeling whatsoever. I expect both teams to kind of play it not passively, but very, very smartly. Take everything just one step at a time and shut things down in the best way possible, because they can pay attention to all those spawns. And that's exactly what we're seeing Team Serenity do right here.
Yeah, this is going to be all about pace control. You know, the survivors want the SI to have to play their game and play exactly the way they want to. But at the same time, the SI are able to force the survivors to take the hits exactly where they want them to take it. We do have a one move going on here. Tank is up in the hands of Dr. Purple. And we have this, actually, Spit's going to miss on top of that Charger. That could have been actually a lot of damage out onto Thug Life. And I do believe we have an HCP Worm, so how about we take it over to that first Worm of this Grand Finals match?
Let's do it!
You gotta probably cut them off left side, probably?
Are they going left?
No. They're at the river front.
I'm literally gonna be second pass with no time.
That's why you came in.
Yeah,
You were on the
makes
tree
sense.
side. You could have just went through there.
That's what I said.
Maybe. If you go tree side though, you have no car.
You want to keep the boomer or no?
I don't care.
Boom anyway. Just a second.
Do it fast.
That was fun.
Gonna be maybe
It's getting
AI.
close.
Oh.
It's nothing. I'm
They're
pretty sure that's what
SLOS-ing.
Miro had.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
And you're gonna have a spawn timer too.
It's a really long.
And I get another boomer?
Just go with it. You guys gotta help it.
You're kidding me?
There's no way I fucking lock a boomer in.
Nah.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, from that healthcare professional's room. K3 mentioned it near the top of the cast right there about how a Himalaya spawn on this map could potentially cause an AI tank, and that's indeed what happened. AI did get one rock onto fellow AI Dane, but besides that, there was absolutely no damage coming out of that first sequence, and it was Purple's tank that got wasted, K3.
Yeah, that's extremely unfortunate. As I was mentioning about pace control, having an AI tank get absolutely shut down like that is just a total disaster for Team HCP. Now Team Serenity is sitting at a 649 health bonus, almost at 50% of the way through the map already, and they're just showing that number one seed that they got going into both the playoff bracket and the beginning of the tournament. They're earning that right here, and they really want to force us to a second set of games. We actually do have a nice 2-cap going out in the back though. Jockey taking somebody forward, and Donna getting pulled in the back with spit on that. That will take about 40 damage of health bonus off of the survivors, but that's not the kind of damage that they're going to need. They're going to need something big to take some of this health bonus off, because going down by like 400, 500 points on your home server off of just map 1, that's not the kind of pace that you want to be setting early on in a grand finals match.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was leaning towards and talking about, like, okay, ATP really cannot be happy with the way that this started. And indeed, that 100's going to go in, Charter gets melted in the back as well, and that's a little bit of a disjointed attack. Jockey manages to land with a 2-boom to make up for it, but those other 2 pinners being shut down is going to minimize that damage right off the bat. And I don't know if it's time to necessarily panic for ATP at this point. I don't think panic is the right word, but they should maybe be a little bit worried about the fact that right now they lost their chance really to get that early lead on Team Serenity, and they're going to have to make up for it with the way they play in these resulting chapters.
Yeah, and if there's one team in the world that's capable of doing that, it's definitely HCP. I still think, by all means, they're probably going to come out of this game with the lead, but, Team Serenity definitely trying to at least mitigate that, give themselves a little bit more of an advantage when they go back onto their home server. So, Team HCP, by no means out of this game. They've still got plenty of times to still get that lead back. And in fact, they're going to try to do that right now. It's a bit going on top of that charger at the top of the stairs. That was a very nice combination going out by them. MC going to take some pretty nice damage there. Not as much as I thought it would be, as the rest of the SI got pretty well shut down. And this helicopter will crash down here. I'm guessing the campaign got changed a little bit, because that helicopter used to crash a long time ago.
Yeah, I think there were a couple alterations made for it, because this is technically the director's cut version, but Team Serenity still have a great amount of health and 100% damage bonus since no one's taken an in-cap yet. And again, that tunnel area is really, really easy for the survivors to hold out. And now the question is, okay, HCP are also known for being not necessarily a moody team, but something where if map 1 doesn't go necessarily the way they want it to, then okay, are they going to be able to recover from that mentally? Boomer's going to get popped off the bat right there. Jockey, Charger, and a spitter, and that's some nice separation right there. Charger's going to take that with a stick going down onto Adane right there. That's going to start affecting the damage bonus just a little bit, because the rest of his health bonus was killed in that hit. And now they are going to start the event, and Team Serenity are going to push to the side tunnel over there to take out all of these common and probably every hit that comes their way.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Team HCP hold out this whole event with taking very minimal damage with just 3 people up until that very last hit from Team Serenity. And, so have 4 survivors of Team Serenity's caliber trying to do that. It's not going to be very easy, I think, for for Team ACP to get much damage on them, as we're just seeing them now just walk into a wall of silenced Uzis and Deagles and shotguns all simultaneously, and just nothing really happening there on the damage.
I see, if that wall in the back isn't broken, they are going to be forced outside, but because they went outside, the Horde spawned in the back and broke down the barrier for them, so the SI don't have control over that anymore. And now, Team Serenity are going to be able to just chill in this tunnel and probably just hold these positions, because they got the shotgun blocking to the right and the silence Uzis focusing in the front. Everything coming in, Charger going for a long charge, not going to land, gets a stumble, Boomer dies last, and that might be the last bit of damage that we see coming out from this chapter, because I believe the safe room is open, and indeed it is. Team Serenity are going to start pushing their way through the last bit of commons right here, and they should be taking quite a nice lead on the away server for them. They're going to put themselves into the safe room, and they are going to be ahead by a score of 816 to 496. In K3, that's all you could ask for when you're playing on an away server versus HCP.
Yeah, that's all you could ask for, even almost playing on a home server, you know. Like, honestly, if these points were reversed, that's closer to what you'd usually expect coming from a home server. But, you know, Team Serenity, they're here to prove that, hey, maybe that time that they beat us last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago on Harder and Downpour, maybe it was a fluke. And, you know, the time that Team Serenity beat Team HCP in the group stage, maybe that's really where their skill levels are at currently, and maybe that's what we should be looking at. So, you know, Team Serenity, they have something to prove now after Team ACP took that amazing comeback last week, and they're here to show us that we want to win this tournament, we want to take it to this next game, and we want to give people a show.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're seeing so far. Now it's going to be HCP on the special infected side, on the back foot a little bit on the home server. Let's see what Team Serenity can do on Survivor side right now. They have all that momentum that they could possibly want, and I think this is going to be a tank that's fought in the inside portion of this warehouse area. And again, Dead Before Dawn, I believe Kissme was talking about it a little bit before the map started, about how pretty a map it is, and, you know, just one of the ways that this actually feels like a Left 4 Dead 2 campaign, probably out of all the custom maps, I would say. And it's been used in a lot of tournaments. And I would also like to mention the factoid that in CCT number 2, this is the place where Envy lost to Team Die Golden Neck to be knocked out of that tournament in a similar series.
Yeah, this is a very polished custom campaign, and I think it's definitely one of the more balanced ones for sure. Lots of lots of really good spots for fighting tank that are scattered around the maps, but also lots of really strong choke points, and you can tell that the developers really put in a lot of effort into making this. People who are often not shadowed enough is the map creators of this community. People like Xeon and NF that put in their time to give a little bit more of a shake-up to the maps that we play instead of Dark Carnival day after day after day after day.
Indeed, and I would also like to mention that for Team Serenity, MC being reinserted into the starting lineup, he actually hasn't played against HCP so far, I'm pretty sure. And I think having him back and having him just warmed up is something that's really going to help Serenity out. Jockey managing to land in the back right there. Charger managing to land as well. Hunter trying to go for the cover, managing to land it onto Rochelle, but the spit didn't actually land on the charge target. Jockey gets a rejock onto Coach, however, so all in all, it turns out being a pretty nice spread, but if that spit had landed, it would have been much better for HCP.
Yeah, Purple spitting directly into that tree, and I guess it's just a slight mispositioning on his part. And Survivors are going to show their map knowledge and skip through this this maze of cars and tents and stuff, and just go right through this fence over here. Definitely the route that I like to take myself. And so, you know, Team Serenity definitely have scrimmed this map a few times, although I would definitely chalk up the general map knowledge probably a little bit more to HCP, who played this map a lot in the past. We do have this tech coming in here. Charger's going to completely miss the Survivors there. Hunter is going to be able to land on there, onto Miro for, or actually onto MC for a little bit of time. He got punched in that spit for a little bit of damage too. So pretty decent damage going out onto the Survivors, but, you know, with this tank at 45%, which is pretty soon, Team HCP is looking for, in caps, they're looking for wipes right now. You know, they need to start opening up the possibilities for comebacks.
And they really needed to get a wipe on this tank, I would say. If history shows anything between these two teams in this tournament, the delta that Serenity is usually playing against off of the, or actually usually playing with off of the European server is about 1,200 points. I think it was that way both times, and right now HCP is trying to get any kind of lead whatsoever. They are going to force the Survivors off the truck right there. Nice double boom. Tri-boom actually going out. Jockey gets M2 to shut down, and the Hunter got cleared as well. Spitter gets a scratch onto Ellis, but they're probably going to chill here and kill all of this Horde before they start moving their way forward. As I was saying, though, usually Team HCP is going into the North American server. I believe this is actually the first time we've started with the NA server. They usually go into the North American server with about a 1,200 point deficit facing them, and right now they are behind. So again, it's dead before dawn, so it's going to be different. We can't really hold that number as the end-all be-all to what they're going to want to do, but if they can get maybe like a 1,000 or 2,000 point lead, that's definitely what they probably need from the North American server side of things. Next idea's coming in as well. Boomer, Smoker, Hunter, and a Charger going out. Hunter trying to lead in. Charger manages to land onto Ellis. Hunter does get seeded. Charger gets cleared. Very quick clears from Team Serenity.
Yeah, Team Serenity just really showing just what kind of strong force that they are. You know, when you look at the team members of Team Serenity, and they're no newcomers to winning entire tournaments. You know, Team Helheim, which had a lot of these members on their team, winning just a slur. There's a huge number of tournaments in the out of the recent big ones that I can think of, and now we have this tank up in the hands of Dusty. This is going to be a very large tank for Team HCP as they need to make something happen here onto the survivors. This is their biggest chance right now to make that comeback. And how about we go over to the HCP war room to hear them go and plan out their next attacks.
Let's do it. I think he has hit his car out as well, so that's going to be interesting.
Oh, a lot of hordes dying off.
They
in that
burned
fire.
What am I? What the fuck? Just getting stuck.
Nice.
Nice. Wait.
Wait, one down and then we go. Go.
Alright, let's go.
Go.
Clear. They're
Literally.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lot of damage going out onto Team Serenity right there from Dusty's tank. A huge amount of damage actually happening in the safe room right there, and that's unfortunate for them, K3, that they had to drop that far back to fight this tank.
Yeah, other than that, they would have had to fight either in bushes or around lots of cars or where the tank can climb up on top of buildings. So, you know, I have seen lots of teams fight the tank back there, but usually with a little bit more success than that. Dusty definitely doing a great job at spraying the damage. And had the Hunter not landed on the tank's target, I think that could have resulted in a wipe, as most of his support did land for at least a little bit of time, allowing Dusty to really spread that damage. And now the damage bonus is up for being removed from the survivors. There's a little bit of separation going on here. Ellis is going to be able to get that M2 on the jockey while Boom and preventing the damage bonus from getting taken off of him. There was a bit of a smoke and spit going off in the back, but not a whole lot of damage going out there. But you know, the survivors are getting slowed down here, and now HCP is starting to really, I think, say, okay, we need to buckle down. We need to take this as seriously as possible, and we need to stop these survivors now and take these points back while we're on our home server.
Yeah, they need to kill the survivors before they start getting any more distance. They're getting a few more points right now, but obviously 2 people slow, and I think it'll be 1 in a second, but they have all 4 almost bleeding out, except for Donnie, who has a little bit of permanent health left. And the thing is, this forward area where you usually see teams fight the tank wasn't available to them. Nice 2-cap going out. Spit's going to go out as well. That's going to be a pulling cap onto Donnie in the back right there. I want to see where Team HCP actually decides to fight this tank, because I don't know if they're going to want to like put themselves in the same kind of corner that Serenity end up finding themselves in.
Yeah, and just a little thing to notice here, I've never seen this. Like, I've always seen the survivors take the route that Nick usually takes and go up onto the boxes and walk all the way across the planks. And survivors finding a way to jump onto the boxes and skip over a lot of this room, which I think is one of the bigger choke points of this map, just given how many resets you can take there. So very nicely done by them, getting really far through the map, and now they're taking a lot of distance points back, regardless of the small amount of health. But HCP tried to put us up with that. Hunter did go out onto MC there for a little bit. Charger is going to get the punch down onto Muro, who is also in spin. There is a one move that's going to delay them a little bit, but they're going to get these pickups, and they're going to be able to make their way through this map still.
And Miro's going to be forced black and white by that in-cap. The only permanent health is on Thug Life right here. It's just a sliver. I believe they're relatively close to the safe room because they still have a couple more chokes to take, but again, the more distance points that they get, the better it is for them. They've almost got 500 distance points milked out of this chapter after essentially being like beaten up near the safe room, and Team HCP hasn't been able to secure that wipe as of yet. Pull going out in the back, not going to land. Miro clearing himself and then also shutting down the jockey. Nice keep by Thug Life, and Team Serenity are saying, you know what, even though we took that much damage early on, we are going to make this chapter pretty much. They only have one more hit, I believe, to take, and then they're going to be in the safe room.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's exactly what's going to be happening. I think Miro found that set of pills and then just kind of dismantled that hit single-handedly, self-clearing the smoker and emptying the jockey off of himself to prevent the wipe going out there. This charger is going to try to prevent the survivors from getting in right now. Jockey is going to go out onto Miro. He is getting punched. This looks like it is going to be a death. He got a little bit too far ahead there, and this is going to be a death out to Miro as the punch went out onto MC to incap him and prevent the clear from going out. So definitely a bit of a miscommunication there. I think Miro getting a little bit too far ahead of himself after that shutdown that they got onto that last hit, and it looks like they actually got a little bit more distance to go, including the switch that's now onto Nick, who is one boomed. Wish having a few issues. Nick will get incapped by the Hunter, and that's a good thing because the switch is
sliding across the floor.
Yeah, she's just gliding her way across gracefully across this cement floor, and it looks like the survivors will be able to make it past this next hit, but apparently they've got some more distance to go, and you know, but I think that's actually probably worse for Team HCP because they've got literally zero health bonus at this point. So had they made it into the safe room before, they would have not be making any more points, but because there's more distance to get, they will make a little bit more points up.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Miro must have gotten a little bit excited right there. Obviously, I mean, if he'd been listening to what we've been saying about him, then he probably would have gotten even more excited, but instead he got a little bit split. That is going to sacrifice maybe, I don't know, maybe 80 points or something like that, depending if they wipe here. There's the death on the Dane, and there's the charge onto Thug Life in the corner. That is going to be the wipe, going out onto Team Serenity here on the North American server. And honestly, you want to say every point counts in this regard, because right now, HCP is playing from behind. It's about a 800, actually over 800 points at this point.
840.
Yeah, so I mean, they have work definitely to do, and now it really all comes down to where are they going to decide to take that tank on Survivor. They could decide to take it in the same spot and then not get multi-punch or something like that, or they could try to shoot the tank all the way down the tunnel and then go back in the safe room, similar to what Team Serenity did. But they really, really need to think about that, because if, God forbid for them, they get wiped at this tank, that would be a huge, huge boon to Serenity's chances of taking the series.
Definitely. And, you know, like, even though Team Serenity made up a lot of distance points on that map, I still think a wipe is a wipe. And, you know, take what you can get, honestly. You know, when you're playing against a team like Serenity and you have a chance for them to, and you wipe them before they made it into the safe room, given any circumstances, regardless of ping or map or advantage or anything like that, you know, just be happy that you've done that, and then use your survivor play and make that comeback happen. We do have the survivors pushing out here onto this cliffside. Looks like the SI are going to be winning here a little bit. Will be a Hunter, Spitter, Jockey, Charger, and yeah, survivors just really doing uncharacteristically slow play, going all the way around all these obstacles, trying to take the hits in the way that they want to.
That's what they're going to have to do. We saw them play in a similar way on Hard Rain Downpour in the last series between these two teams that had Team HCP taking the win, obviously, but now Serenity is going to have to try and counter that, because if they know they're going to slow play it, then they just need to make sure that their timing is perfect on the special infected side of things. Hunter's still bouncing around trying to get the survivor's attention. Spitter, Jockey, and a Charger going in. Hunter is not going to land. Charger gets shut down. Everything getting blown out of the sky aside from that Spitter, which got 6 damage. Those are the kind of shutdowns that Team HCP needs, K3.
Those are the frag video picture perfect shutdowns. Like that was just clean.
It's split right now, though.
I guess I'm having trouble locating him. Oh, it looks like, yeah, Super did go the longer way around, but you know, the hit was down, and which was absolutely completely dismantled by Team HCP, showing that survivor play that we know that they're all capable of, and that they're going to need to keep doing throughout the rest of this chapter to make this comeback. Boomer's going to Kool-Aid Man his way out of that truck there. One boom will be going out onto purple, and it looks like SI are going to come in on this. Hunter is going to get skeeted just like all the other ones. Jockey's going to get M2 just like all the other ones, and now the smoker is just alone to get insta-clear just like all of the previous smokers. So no damage pretty much at all going out onto the survivors, and now they are showing just what they're capable of, and they're showing that we don't want Team Serenity to take this game and go to a second set. We want to win this tournament today on this map right here and not give them the chance to win it at all.
That smoker died right there in a little bit of a desync, so now there's going to be only 3 SI for this hit as the event has been started. And I think HCP are going to chill right here for the duration of this event and then decide where they want to take the tank. I could honestly see them taking the tank in this area if they choose to do so. Reason being, there's like one hittable or something like that, and that they can kite it around that would be optimal, but I just don't know if they're going to want to do the inside area against a team with higher paying, potentially long arm potential, and I don't know. We'll see what they decide to do. Hunter going in, going to bounce its way around. Charger is going to miss. Hunter does manage to land, however, on the purple, and that's going to be a 2-cap in the spit right there with a lot of charge punches going out, and that easily is the best attack of this chapter so far from Serenity.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a lot worse there for a second, but you know, you look at the damage spread that happened onto Super Purple and even a little bit onto Bravo. You know, that's the kind of thing that's going to make them take, you know, 3 punches, maybe even close to 2 punches before getting in cap. So if they do would like to take that tank back, then those in caps are going to come out a lot easier. And, you know, so that damage spread is extremely valuable for the survivors, and they will be having to spawn this tank here in a second. The horde has been completely cleared out, and we do have this boomer set up for a nice Arkham. I like this spot that he's going for on the run back, and I am very interested to see where they take this. Tank is now up in the hands of MC for Team Serenity. Team HP is now running back now. Boomer will go out onto one there, and gets promptly popped after that, and you know, I think we're going to keep it here for this because we did go to the Team HCP Worm with the last tank. And, you know, MC making his way through here. And they, even with the Horde, which I think is, you know, could be potentially pretty big as the Horde is a little bit straggled, but it looks like they will get the last clear out onto the Horde. And I'm not sure how many of these hittables or these props are hittable around here, but I'm going to assume that's going to be at least be a couple.
I believe it's just the one car, and this is going to be the commitment from Team Serenity. Pushing his car in from the left here is MC, and the survivors are going to be cutting him around. That car is in a tree. Tank is going to be forced to push in, missing that punch right there. ATB cut him around, but now he's got his corner onto Bravo. Hunter manages to land, then does get cleared. Smoker does land as well. MC going for these punches, managing to get down onto Super right there, and he's also pushing Bravo around, but he's getting juked around that tree. Car is going to ricochet to the right-hand side. He's going to go for Bravo again, but Bravo is on top of that Crossroads wall van right there, and this is going to be one in cap. That's exactly what I thought they should have done. Take it in that area. They cut the hittable around. It's one down onto Super, and they are going to be all fast with a great amount of health bonus.
Yeah, I mean, you can point that the tank's not getting a ton of damage out to a couple of things. There was definitely a couple with punches there, but I think what really set that to happen was the fact that the SI came in a little bit straggled, and the Hunter went in, landed before the Smoker had a chance to do anything. We do have this Boomer coming in here, who's going to get properly popped there by Dusty, and now it looks like they will be... Too. Yeah, that was an incredible pop there by Dusty, instantaneously flicking up, showing his amazing reaction time that he's developed over years and years of competitive Left 4 Dead 2. And now we have the survivors pushing. They're gunning it through, and they're getting very close to the safe room. They're currently sitting at a 758 health bonus.
Yeah, that's insane. And I mean, because they killed both of the supports right there, they knew they didn't have a full hit on Team Serenity's side of things. Now they're going to bait again. Hunter coming in, and he is going to get killed on the ground on my screen right in front of me. There's going to be a jockey getting shut down too. Spit's going to go down on nothing. And K3, HCP have arrived. They weren't here map 1, but now they are.
Yeah, they just need a little bit of a wake-up call. And they came into this, it's like, okay, you know, let's just play this game. Let's just play it our way. And then they realized, oh, hey, I remembered we're playing against Team Serenity.
Yeah,
it turns out they're kind of a sort of good team, and we need to play really well to beat them, even on our home server. And so they just turned up the volume a little bit on their play, and now they're showing just what they're capable of. This is exactly the kind of survivor play that I was hoping and expecting to see from Team HCP. Although they're not out of the water yet, and they do have at least one more hit, including a Witch, which has proved how effective it can be at dismantling
Bravo.
Team HCP, and in Bravo in particular, yes, as we are all aware.
Well, let's see if they have him be the Witch Drawer once again. Looks as though they actually are going to. It's going to be a Hunter, Smoker, Boomer, and a Charger for the support hit. And actually, maybe not. Super looks like he's moving to the front as well. They're putting Bravo in the back. They need to make sure that they're blocking all of these spawns. The Hunter is trolling the Witch right now to get her aggroed with that extra radius into Ace Mod. Now, as long as HTB doesn't do what they did map 1 and screw up the Witch, will be okay. They do manage to get the crown. Hunter is going to get cleared. Pop went out by Purple in the back. There is a pull going out. Charge going in, and that's going to be a miss. And that's a much cleaner, obviously, take than they had map 1, and that should pretty much open the way to the safe room for them. I think only with one more hit if Team Serenity is lucky.
Yeah, that's if they're lucky, and I think they might be able to even just stay like walk right into the safe room right now and secure this bonus. And that's exactly what they're going to be able to do. Team HCP making their way into the ball, and they're going to be taking the lead back, not by a huge margin, only about what is that 408 points, 408 point lead for Team HCP. But a lead is a lead, and that's a very huge chapter. This is a 1200 point chapter compared to the 520 that Team Serenity had, and so just taking this lead back, and I think that they're going to want to play exactly like that for the next few maps and open up the lead as big as they can.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, that's exactly what you wanted to see from HCP. They responded to what they had faced map 1, and now Team Serenity is going to be like, okay, this is more what we were expecting to see happen with HCP's Survivor play, but what can they do now on the Special Infected and Survivor side to keep it closer than it has been in the past, with HCP winning these games with like 2,500 points or whatever it was in the last series that they had, some obscene amount of just, like, score delta opening itself up just on the home server. And I mean, that's to be expected when you play against a team like HCP, and HCP on the away server obviously is a lot different than HCP on the home server. Same can be said for Serenity due to that ping delta. But at the same point in time, as we both mentioned, the teams are very, very good when they play on those away servers either way. So right now, it'll be interesting to see where the tanks are going to spawn and exactly what Team Serenity does. HCP going to keep that momentum rolling, kind of like a boulder rolling down a hill, gaining somewhat of a velocity just to slam into whoever's at the bottom side, which is why HCP has not lost, and Serenity also has not lost a game on their home servers.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we do have this first hit set up here for this model. Usually not a whole lot of damage going out of this first hit, but you never know. Any kind of crazy hits can happen with this. And this stupid Maul now too is going to be bugging us for the next while, so I'm going to just go ahead and restart my sound for that. We do have this hit coming in here. Boomer's actually going to land a nice triple proxy boom from that nice rocket off the top there. Charger got cleared pretty quickly, and so did everything else. So not a whole lot of damage coming out of that, regardless of how pretty that hit may have looked. And, Team HCP, they want to start repeating that Survivor performance that they had at the beginning. And, of course, they shoot an ATM. There's going to be lots of those over the next 2 maps or so, which are pretty much just optional events. It's like an alarm car, essentially, and they are going to be approaching this event. And I think this event right here has the potential to do a ton of damage if the SI delay the survivors properly.
Fun fact, both teams know this, but if you exit those doors of the mall, you get shot by a sniper and insta-killed, so I don't think any of the teams are going to want to do that unless they hate someone in particular on their team, want to kick them outside, but I think instead the SI might try to make the play for where they try to get somebody outside, or they send things from the top of the vent, as we're seeing here with this Hunter starting to spawn, dropping his way in, but getting killed before he can even pounce. Charger goes and manages to land a charge into the corner right there, on to Bravo for a good amount of damage. He took a little bit of time getting out of that, and this vent is going to fall right behind both Ellis and Rochelle. That kept the Spitter alive, and they have a few hits to take here, K3, before they start pushing their way through the map again.
Yeah, but if you look at, the speed that they close that gate, if you stop the Survivor from closing the gate, they have to start closing the gate all over from the very beginning again, and at which point there's so much horde that comes in through there, and you can just continue to just delay them pretty much infinitely. So very nicely done, I think, by Team HCP to get that gate closed as quickly as they did, because I've seen teams just get completely wiped out just on this point, just because they were not able to close the gate in time before the horde just became super overwhelming. And I've personally not seen the sniper thing happen, because that must be a new thing, as that gate used to be blocked and survivors could not walk through it, but I would have personally loved to see that.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know exactly who would have been sacrificed on HCP's side. I assume Serenity would have kicked Donna out the window, but instead, we are going to see our first pause of the series happening right here, as Thug Life said he needed a second in Serenity's infected chat. Now, they have this entire horde to take, then they have to push a little bit further into the mall area, and then after that, they'll be able to spawn that tank. And this tank from Serenity, obviously the mall tanks are a little hard to get a whole lot of damage on, in my opinion, due to the fact they're a rather wide open area where the survivors have a lot of mobility to kite. We'll see exactly what the SI do and where the survivors decide to take it. On the low ping, they can pretty much take it wherever they would want to. And the next hit is coming in, Boomer gets popped, Smoker's going to miss its pull. Jockey is going in a little bit silent there, I believe, landing onto Dusty's back, and then the Spitter dies last.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, it's very difficult to get much damage at all with these mall tanks, as the survivors will be making their way across the catwalk with very little to no style whatsoever. Very disappointing. No strutting for us. No displays in this grand finals match. But yeah, it's very difficult to get much damage during these tanks. There's just so many options for open areas and obstacles that the survivors can use to juke out the tank. And, you know, so it's very difficult to really make much of a comeback on these maps. And so, which I think is exactly what ACP needs now, is no wipes going out onto the survivor side.
It's going to be interesting because I think the tank's about to spawn in this forward area, and indeed it is. Oh boy. I haven't seen a tank in this area in a very, very long time. This kind of changes my original, like, prediction there, because I think Miro might be able just to roll this in depending on where they want this boom to come from. And indeed, Miro is going to be commanding the tank for Serenity right here. This is not an optimal area for the survivors. There's a punch going out. He's got the corner onto Dusty, but he actually gets juked the trash can, and the support already went in. This tank's almost dead, and that's going to be a dead tank from Miro. Only after 1 or 2 hits. I thought that looked terrible, but HCP shut down the SI, and that one punch was eaten by that trash can.
That, I mean, yeah, as you said, that looked a lot worse. And yeah, right now, Team ACP is sitting at an over 1,000 bonus. And I mean, they still have lots of map to go, but they're sitting at so much health, and it's very difficult to get much damage at all during these other hits. They're sitting at such a commanding position right now, exactly where they want to be. During that tank, that Boomer did kind of miss his spawn, and you know, as I don't mind casting through this hit as it gets completely destroyed. Not really much to see there, just a bunch of SI walking to their dooms, which is the shotguns and Uzis of Team HCP. And so yeah, I think the spawns came in a little bit too straggled there, or staggered rather, during that tank, and weren't able to really help the tank out as much as it needed, as it just got mowed down by ACP.
Yeah, and I mean, that right there, I usually don't see a tank from Miro go that way. Miro is one of the best tank players in the world of competitive Left 4 Dead 2, and they cannot be happy on Team Serenity side from that, even though they are on the higher ping, obviously, because that tank got melted. And now, I mean, HCP's going to be able to stand here. Free Spit did go in. Charger is not going to land. Everything, once again, getting destroyed by HCP shotguns and the Uzi of Dusty, I'm pretty sure. And that's the thing. They have that weapon variance as well. And I do believe now, Team HCP, they did find another set of pills, and they are just keeping that bonus completely intact at this point. And there is, of course, a static boomer that spawns on the left-hand side over there, trying to break down these doors to no avail until it eventually gets popped, and the survivors will be able to work their way through the map once again.
And with that extremely epic music, that will signal, I think, the end of this boomer, as it will clear the way through for the survivors to make their way through the map. I think it's worth noting that in the last 3 maps, or not 3 maps, but 3 hits, literally the only damage that they took was 5 friendly fire damage from their own teammates. So they, yeah, pop going onto the boomer, and just, you know, they're just showing no signs of showing down. It's not like Team HCP has one map and gets comfortable. No, they're showing that they're gonna keep this pace up throughout the rest of this game.
They just draw that. Wow.
I didn't know that that was possible, but, you know, you learn a lot when you're watching a grand finals match of 2 high caliber teams, which is going to come out here. They're not even going to have to go for the draw crown from the original person who drew it. There is a bit of damage going on here from that 2-cap. Charger and Jockey did land. Actually going to take, you know, about 150 points off of Team HCP's health bonus, but, you know, they're still sitting they have the gnome, and that's really the important thing right now.
My god. Well, yeah, I mean, it looks as though the maximal damage from Team Serenity, aside from their tanks a little bit, has been witches. Obviously, map 1 was the catastrophic witch, and that one did get a 2-cap, as you mentioned, that took about 150 points off their bonus, but they're still sitting extremely pretty at this point, and they should be able to work their way through here. Boomer spawning up, not going to land anything. Hunter, Smoker, and Spitter all coming from the wall in the back. There's a nice 2-cap with a Spit going down on top of it as well. Super going to take an okay amount of damage from that, but he finds a corner, the smallest corner possible, to get out of that Spit. So these last 2 hits at least have been landing on the HCP to do some damage, but obviously no horrific multi-caps and nothing really huge coming out of that, but again, good chip damage.
Yeah, the survivors did elect to abandon the gnome, which I think is a slight misplay on their part, as they are getting close to the save room, and you know how much that gnome is worth when you get in there. Just absolute numbers, so I think really big misplay for the survivors to leave our friend Chomsky behind. But regardless, they will be shooting another ATM. Actually coming in from the top here, Hunter is going to land with that Spit near behind. gonna get a bit of damage there onto purple, but their damage bonus here is still at 100%, and they will be making it right into the safe room here with a health bonus of 675. That's exactly the kind of thing they need. And wow, what was like 2 maps ago about a 400-point deficit has now turned into a nearly 2k lead going into Serenity's side, which is just insane. Over the last 2 chapters, they have an average of like 1,300 points per chapter, which is just completely nuts.
Completely mind-boggling. Like, that's just... Yeah, I mean, Serenity now... I don't know about this, because I want to say again, you know, what happened on that tank with Miro only getting like a punch or 2 punches at best, and that boomer landing with all the other support getting shut down, but that is not an area that I would want to fight tank in when I'm on ping. I just want to say that right now. Like, that's not a good area to be in, because it's really, really enclosed, and the tank did get an early corner onto Dusty, but that trash can ate its second punch. I'll say that again, HCP played it perfectly from the Survivor side of things, but if anybody screws up in that area, or if they have like a room 3 cap, or they get a boom when the Survivors drop out the vent, that could easily be a wipe onto Team Serenity's side, if not a colossal amount of damage. So the potential for it is still there, and if HCP is able to stop Serenity before they reach the safe room, they're going to be in a fantastic position heading into map 4.
Yeah, although as Kissme mentioned, we do have Team Serenity's Survivor side still to play here, and this Charger got 2 slams right in front of 3 Survivors who were able to clear them, and, you know, Tri-Boom landing, Hunter landed for like a solid amount of damage too. This is not looking very good for Serenity right now, and while they do have their Survivor side to play still, just even pressing tab and seeing the score differential that they have to make up right now, it's really just a downer, I think, usually.
I would say so, and especially because it was Miro's tank that didn't go the way they wanted to, because, like, again, he's usually pretty reliable. Now, the question is, are HCP going to be able to do this thing where they troll the button? And I don't think they are. It's going to be a Hunter Charger Smoker. Actually, yes, they are. That's going to be a pull going out, and that's almost going to be a death if they manage to charge Rochelle outside, but she's still pulled in that spit. A huge amount of damage going out on the MC right there.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage, but I think that MC did hit some kind of invisible wall that prevented him from getting pulled outside. So, you know, confirmation of the sniper kill onto the Survivors has yet to be, you know, revealed to me, which is slightly disappointing because, you know, I have yet
to be epic.
I have yet to see it and yet to believe that it even exists, because I've not witnessed it with my own eyes. And it did look like there was some kind of invisible wall that stopped MC, so, you know, the doubt is starting to grow in me.
We'll see. I don't know if we're going to have a better opportunity than that one right there, with one of the Survivors getting pulled directly to that door at that angle. It's going to be a Boomer, a Hunter, Spitter, and a Charger for the next hit from HCP here. Let's see what they can make happen. The Survivors went back and got a set of pills, and now are going to rotate their way back forward. Now the question is, are they going to save this for when the Survivors push into a more enclosed area and then maybe commit the tank instantaneously with some spawns? Looks so that is what they are going to do. Charger's up above right there. Hunter going in. Charger trying to break through the vent right there. Imagine you get a punch, sticks the Survivor into spit. There's a boom stumble going out as well, but not a whole lot of damage going out from that.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to note here is the consistency for Team HCP with landing these boomers. Even if it's not making a huge difference in the total damage on top of Team Serenity during these hits, just the fact that they're landing these boomers nearly every single attack just shows that, you know, it's definitely going to come into play at some point if they don't start shutting down these boomers. We do have this tank up now in the hands of Dr. Supra, trying to make something happen here, prevent the Survivors from replicating the health bonus that Team HCP had. How about we go over to that Team HCP Worm to hear how they take this.
Do it!
Just intercept the guy for you.
Yeah.
If you get on those guns, you can just drop down this thing, and you'll have that entire event. If you want to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm in here.
Alright, super.
Let's help.
Let's go.
Oh, I messed
Get the
up.
guy, get the guy.
I missed that one.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, from that HCP Worm. Only one down going out from Supra's tank right there. That looked a lot better, but he tried to get 2 very early punches onto the survivors and wasn't able to land them. Then he got the lockup onto Miro, but he missed that last punch. Miro was able to take his pills. By that time, the SI support was pretty much dead. Usually what ACP likes to do is get it down and then go 4-on-3 with the rest, but it just didn't work for them right there. We do have a separation pull going out. Jockey landing an intercept as well. Charger's not going to land in the back, but that's a good amount of damage going out onto Serenity post-tank. But K3, what'd you think?
I actually thought that, well, it was obviously a lot more that happened than Team Serenity's tank, but, you know, you can point to the fact that Super might have missed the punch on to his lockup on Miro, but the support really didn't give him a whole lot else to work with. I mean, there was no boomer during the hit. The cappers didn't really land for much, and you know, it just allowed the survivors to just cut him down while he was trying to finish off that corner. But you know, that last hit definitely sealing off a lot more damage. And now this is their current amount of health is more so what they would want, or Team HTP would want to see Team Serenity at. Although I'm sure they would prefer to see them with a wipe, no doubt.
Yeah, and I mean, really not a whole lot of damage expected from the hits right here, because it's hard to just stand pat and shoot whatever comes at their faces, but instead, I mean, they are bleeding out. 2 survivors bleeding. They have 2 sets of pills. Their damage bonus has also been afflicted at this point by these hits. Let's see if Team HCP can get anything at all to happen. They're going to have a Boomer, Charger, Jockey, and a Smoker. Boomer cannot boom through those windows, so he is going to get popped. They might decide to send the rest of the hit, or they could just wait for a spitter too, which seems to be what they're leaning towards.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, the survivors will be bleeding out throughout these next few hits, and they are already sitting at a lower bonus than Team HCP walked into the safe room with. So Team HCP will be conserving their lead and continuing to expand on it. And you know, the weird music thing signaling the end of this event as the hit goes in there gets pretty much dismantled for the most part. But there was a nice spit spread that happened onto Dane to get a little bit more damage, and the Wish draw has gone out onto the Wish. There isn't any SI there to help it out, and that will be an easy round there for MC, who is going to be pushing his way with his teammates through the rest of this map.
We might need these.
Indeed he is, and they did find another set of pills right there. Let's see if there's another hit up in queue. There is a single boom going out. Jockey, Smoker, and a Hunter for the rest right here. Let's see if they elect to send it now before the survivors get any further outside, or they could also save it for a spitter. Looks as though they're going to hit as the survivors push their way to the wall over here. Rochelle jumping around, hearing that Jockey in the front. And yeah, they are going to save it for the spitter. It looks like there should be a couple more hits before the safe room as well. This one included, obviously. Let's see if they can get any more of that bonus down. Smoker's going to get the pull onto Coach right there, then does get insta-cleared. Spit does go down. And there's the pull out onto Ellis, too, who is separated, but he manages to clear himself before any more damage goes out. Nice clear by Dane to not get separated, and then all of his bonus would have been depleted by that Smoker pull.
Yeah, that was about 100 points of damage, and plus another big shot, I think, from Miro going out onto one of his teammates. Or something like that, because I just saw their bonus definitely go down by, I guess, a solid amount more points. I think somebody might have actually just walked to the fire. And we do see this Boomer gonna land there on to MC, and we do have Ellis a little bit separated now. He's got to get back with his teammates, but exactly as I say that, right as I say that, Dane is gonna get charged in that spit. That's gonna take some more of their damage bonus down. And these last 2 hits, they lost about 250, 300 points. And so Team HCP going to continue to make their lead grow going into this next chapter. And their final score for this chapter will be a deficit of around 900 points, with 3,116 to 2,288.
Still though, I mean, Team Serenity made the safe room right on the away server. That's the important part, where they didn't get wiped. Yes, they took a lot of damage, but they still made the full distance, and they still had bonus, as a matter of fact. So good on them for doing that, again, showing how close this matchup is going to end up being. And this is going to, again, put some pressure on HCP when they switch servers right here. You know, Team Serenity has made every map, essentially, aside from second map, where they made most of the distance points anyway. So that definitely does show that Serenity has that skill to play the way that they do on the away server. But now the question is, what's the delta going to be coming out of this game with another 2 maps to play, right? On the home server, where HCP has played out of their mind so far, aside from map 1, you know, almost over 1,300 points actually per chapter after the first map. Can they continue that right here? Will they be able to maximize is the question that I have.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I think it's situations like this that definitely set aside the good players from the great and the and the great teams from the amazing ones, like the ones that we're seeing here, is the ability to play under that pressure and to continue to maintain their high level of play throughout the games. You see so many teams go in and say, oh, hey, we had one amazing chapter that gave us a good lead, and then they just completely fall apart after that because they don't hold it up and don't continue to play at that caliber just because they get a little bit too comfortable. And I'm expecting that's not going to be what we're going to see here. We do have this Charger looking for this cheeky little spawn behind this wall here, but I think the survivors are completely aware of that, and they will not be letting this land anytime soon.
Yeah, they're staring at it, but now here comes the spawn, managing to land. Nice double cap with a spit charge onto Supra in the corner right there. Nice opening hit in the indoor corridors by Team Serenity to start this off. That's what they kind of wanted, I would say. Another relatively early tank as well, 38% for this map, and let's see where that's going to be. I love these corridors from the special infected side of things. It's extremely confusing, but the survivors obviously know the path as well, and since they took that first hit a little bit to the face right there, they're going to start motoring their way through before another hit is up, but now there is a hit. It's going to be a Charger Hunter, Smoker, and a Spitter. Let's see where they decide to send it. They're going to go in the room right here. It looks like Hunter gets nicely seated by Purple. Charger's going to whiff, and that Charger didn't even have the chance to hit the wall K3. It was dead by buckshot.
Yeah, that's the power of HCP quad chrome shotguns. It's just, not a whole lot that, a Charger charging him by himself is going to be able to get. Even though that Charger wasn't necessarily completely alone, it's just everything else just got completely mowed down. And, Team HCP just consistently showing why their players are featured in so many frag videos across our community. Jockey there is going to spawn up and immediately despawn, and our tank is now up in the hands of Dane. I'm interested to actually see and hear what the survivors decide to do with this, so how about we go over to that HCP war room for their survivor side.
Do it!
It's not this wall. This burger tank sign.
Okay.
Why? The wall is broke. Back up a little bit, guys.
Yeah, you're so far.
Hey, coming in right side.
He's coming in. He's chipping him.
Blocking the spawn.
Left side. One step top.
On Dusty.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. The equivalent of a quad boom going out from that boomer jumping next to those ATM machines, but then did get popped by Dusty, resulting in a single down going out onto Purple, plus another punch right there. SI support got pretty much shut down, though, so that tank was only able to do what it could with that horde. And K3, this is still a pretty good situation for HCP to be in.
Yeah, Team HCP shooting 3 ATMs, showing how much they want this money from this tournament winnings. They will have to deal with his Witch, though, before they can get that, though. And Spit is going to land in the back. Rochelle, who is Bravo, taking a lot of damage in that Spit there. But, during that tank, not a whole lot of support landing.
Heck. Purple just man-moded that!
How did he just buckshotted that Hunter? From my perspective, it looked like he just shot the Hunter through the Witch, just magically sending his bullets through the Witch without triggering her off, and managing to get the pick on that Hunter, and then the quick crown onto the Witch. So very nicely done by Purple there. And survivors took a lot less damage than I thought they would during that tank. I think they handled that horde and the support very nicely. Jockey is going to actually land onto the S there. There was a little bit of separation, but they managed to get the clear pretty quickly. Single boom did land onto Coach there, and nothing else really happening off of that hit.
Yeah, I mean, that tank, if a similar thing happens with that, quad boom equivalent going out via that ATM, that would be really, really good for Team HCP on this side. I mean, they still have a good amount of bonus, but they are going to have one person perma-slow in a second, because they're all sitting right above that 40 HP mark where they're going to be dropped as a slow. Let's see if they chill here for the rest of the event, because then they have to climb a lot of ladders into the safe room. That's the thing about it. Jockey managing to land. Hunter takes the target, though. Everything else getting cleared. Charger the last thing up, hiding in the closet over there. Thug Life not able to do a whole lot. And can he not break that door?
He cannot break that door. I discovered this in a scrim, watching a scrim recently, and the SI cannot get out of that door. And so I guess Thug Life displaying that maybe he doesn't know this map amazingly well. Just in the So maybe a couple more scrims would have allowed them to know that that closet cannot be
Oh,
broken
there's
out
gonna be a
by the
separation
SI.
pull, but nice clear by Bravo.
I don't know how he managed to get that boomer angle, but he does land it on the survivors. But there is no spitter, or actually a spitter just came into the spawn rotation. But he has to crouch through these vents with the rest of the survivors, and I think the SI are going to want to get this hit on them right now before they get out of here, because this is such a devastating spot to have a spitter, and you know, they want to capitalize on it if possible.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely could, but looks so Dusty's gonna go nice shot on that. Hunter insta clears, going out everywhere, and they're not gonna get the spin there, K3. That was a hell of a shot on that Hunter by Dusty, just consistently through this entire tournament. I would say he's been the best player of this tournament.
I would be inclined to agree with you. Just, you know, it's not just those small instances, it's the consistency, you know, and I've played on a team with Dusty before, and, you know, just he's so amazingly consistent at getting these crazy shutdowns, like, everywhere, and if you watch his stream, you know, it's just how consistent he is at just getting this amazing aim and getting these very crucial shutdowns onto all these SI, every single hit. It just speaks numbers for his quality as a player, and, you know, I think, HCP should be very happy that they have a player of his caliber.
Yeah, I mean, right now, they still have a nice health bonus, and they're pretty close to the safe room. This is already a huge score. I'm just looking at their total score so far, you know, and it keeps inching up right here. There's one hit before the safe room. It's a Hunter, Charger, Spitter, and a Jockey. That's all Serenity's got left. They're going to try to break that wall on the side. Hunter spawning up. Charger going in first, getting melted. Hunter is not going to land. Jockey shut down, and 8CP, those healthcare professionals making it to the safe room. Total score of 4,408 through 4 maps, and that's with them stacking map 1. They have they've scored 4,000 points in 3 chapters, K3.
Team H, I mean, they're just showing how they are professionals at caring for their own health. And just walking to the safe room with massive bonuses for 3 maps in a row, and just, you know, so yes, so witty. So, you know, Team HCP just really showing just how amazing they are at, you know, just playing that survivor side, and showing that, you know, okay, we'll give you 1 map, we will hand you on a silver platter 1 map of our survivor side, where we will sacrifice Bravo to the great heavens. Right. It's to the Left 4 Dead gods. Oh, and we did actually have an amazing hit going on here. That's a great 2-cap with a double charge happening. Hunter in this, just barely outside of the spit, but that spit did block MC and landed some good damage on him too. That was an amazing double charge going out there onto Team Serenity, and with that Hunter also getting a lot of damage out there. Very nicely done, showing that, okay, we can bring the heat on our survivor side, but we're also gonna put that pressure on our SI side and continue to dismantle this Team Serenity no matter what they do.
Yeah, and I mean, this tank, again, gonna be pretty interesting in the area, but we do have another hit coming in. Charter leading in, managing to land. Nice double cap, pretty much a triple cap landing with a boom going out as well. Another beautiful hit from HCP, and they've got all the momentum in the entire Left 4 Dead 2 world on their side right now. That's what you want to see from a team like HCP here. Number 2 seed in the tournament. Serenity did manage to beat them in the group stages / Swiss stages on the Pacifies, but now obviously it's a different situation running into this Dead Before Dawn Grand Finals matchup. And now the tank is going to be up for HCP into the hands of the one and only Dr. Bravo. We're going to keep it right here, and we're going to see what he is able to do on his special infected side. Jockey and a Charger for the other hit. So K3, if they don't shoot the alarm, what's the strat here from the SI side?
So there is some kind of spawn in the back that you can see the Charger going into right now, but I'm pretty sure the survivor is going to be well aware of that. And it looks like the strategy, I don't know what it is, but clearly whatever it is it involves an immediate commit, as well as Bravo getting completely mowed down. He does find the secure on to Thug Life, though. He will be 2 more punches before it goes down. That will be an in-cap out onto Thug Life. But the support went in before he had the in-cap. I'm not sure about that. Like, I mean, very nice punch going out there by Bravo. Bravo, I think, did his job getting that, getting the corner onto Thug Life and as well as the in-cap. But the SI went in, I think, before he could get that in-cap fully out, and just didn't land. It didn't pay off for them. Team Serenity shutting down the rest of that SI. And while they don't have as much health as Team HCP had at this point. They do still have more health than HCP walked into the safe room with. So if they can hold the rest of this health, then maybe they can close a little bit of the score delta.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what that was about in terms of the support, but there is a hunter spawn on this witch once again. I think there's also a, like, somewhat of a cart or something in the way, too, to just add to the witch's disarray. And it looks as though Miro is trying to pull this witch. The Spitter's in front as well. Hunter's probably going to go instantaneously on this as well. It's a Boomer and a Smoker for the rest. This Hunter's almost dead. And Miro could actually probably pick it depending on where he's coming from. This is kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure what we're watching right here, but I believe it's competitive Left 4 Dead 2. And Miro is still, now he's gonna have to pick the Hunter, and the witch is gonna glitch in the corner right there. So that's interesting, but he can't actually shoot her through the wall. He's actually, maybe he can. I'm not entirely sure. That's an interesting strat. I don't think she actually glitched out on the cart. I think she glitched on the door.
I think, okay, so putting the cart in front of the door to kind of mess up the witch's pathing. I think that's what the intent was, but I don't think they intended at all for the witch to get completely stuck there. So
yeah, I don't think the carts would actually cause the witch to stick itself. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
I think it contributed though.
It's illegal if you if you know the witch is gonna bug out. That's what the illegal part of it is. I don't think that qualifies. But this hunter's gonna get shut down. Charter going in, not gonna land. Spit's gonna go down though, all over the survivors. Lots of damage onto Ellis and Nick right there. Now they are going to jump their way over to this ladder choke. So again, witch shenanigans would be the only thing to really derail a grand finals like this. I don't believe that quite qualifies, but that's just me.
I mean, considering the type of witch shenanigans that we've seen before in competitive matches that have just ruined everything, you know, like Parish 3, witches climbing up the bus infinitely and stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that derail big matches. Oh my god, yes, really weird spit spread happening there, but not a whole lot of SI support on top of that spit to really capitalize off it. So Team Serenity, they are bleeding out, but they will continue to elect to hold out the rest of this hit, and they're at pretty much an identical health bonus to what ACP walked into the safe room with, and they still have like 200 points left in the map to make up.
And they do have one survivor still crouched on top of those boxes. They sack the Boomer. And now the question is, are they going to send everything while they're still inside that room? Actually, the Spitter just managed to get a spit through there and lands onto Ellis once again. That's one hell of a snipe going out by Dusty. And then he is going to save that too for when the survivors make their way out. And yeah, I really like that call, I'd say, from the SI, because hitting on these ladders can be extremely detrimental to the survivor's health.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with like a spit and a charge, and a shock, no less. They have like the ideal hit for making a ton of damage happen. And there's still a little bit of horde here. It looks like it will be cleared off though, and survivors will be able to make it up this ladder without much interference from the common infected. But this could be a devastating hit if they play it right. Jockey has been completely destroyed, had to crouch through that ventilation system. We do have a pull-out going out here. He does get pulled off. MC does get pulled off actually for a massive amount of fall damage.
Wow.
MC got pulled off of the very top of that scaffolding and took so much fall damage when he hit the ground, losing all of his permanent health as well as nearly all of his temporary health. So that's actually, they lost like 200 points off of, even more off of that. Nearly only off of that pole, because not a whole lot else landed there with that jockey skeet. Amazing skeet. Holy smokes. I'm gonna try to stop from swearing. keep it professional. Keep it professional here in this grand finals match. That was an incredible skeet going on there. Going out. I hope he was recording that and maybe put in a future frag video. But yeah, I mean, regardless though, Team Serenity sitting at an okay damage bonus, but now this is the kind of they could completely remove their damage bonus. Okay.
Oh, it's not doing damage.
The map makers with the awareness to prevent the spit from doing any damage in there, and I don't think anybody knew about that clearly.
It makes sense. It's similar, I guess, to the elevator on Hard Rain, right, where the survivors are kind of chilling there, and they blocked that spit damage so long ago, and I believe they might have taken the same logic and applied it here. I commend them for that, because again, that's a choke where you could just get completely melted by a spitter just spitting in the same way that they did, and just did no damage. You saw Serenity kind of standing there like, we're gonna die, and then nothing happened to them. So that definitely helps their causes in terms of making this map still. Another hit from HCP coming in. Charter coming in from the back, landing it into the corner onto Rochelle right there. That's a full incap going out. Everything else dying, but again, Dane eating the brunt of that hit.
Yeah, literally 0 permanent health left on the survivors, and it's all damage bonus, and their Team HCP is doing a good job at just lowering that damage bonus even more. Already down to a 55% damage bonus and a little bit less than 200 points worth of bonus left on them, and they're trying to get this off, and they do have 3 permanent slow in the back. And I'm just hoping that we don't see a repeat where we have the fast survivor getting a little bit too far ahead, getting dismantled. We do have a pull going out in the back that is going to get instantly cleared. Hunter is having a bit of difficulty finding this. Sounds like there was another ATM getting shot. Team Serenity also showing, hey, we want that money too. Team HP can't keep it all for themselves. Trying to
take it down here, I think, because there's a 3-boom, plus there's a smoker, and there's like everyone's slow. And there's the common hit going out on the Thug Life, so that's the in-cap that Team HCP wanted. Now the smoker is going to troll, getting the pull onto Nick right there to delay. Hunter and Spitter and Jockey all coming from the front. There's another in-cap going out. Hunter's going to land as well. Jockey's nowhere near, though, to make the wipe happen. Going to get M2 in the face right there, but another in-cap is good. There's a third in-cap going out onto Dane in the corner, and this is very, very close now to being a wipe. And indeed, that is... He's holding the button, and that's not going to be a kill on the Thug. That was so close to a death just from those common. There is going to be another hit, but their damage bonus just took it right there, K3.
Yeah, amazing E-press there to get the pickup onto Thug with very little health left. But also very nice to be going out there onto Supra, trying to keep themselves from getting wiped. But the damage has been done. And what was originally 200 points is now going to be under 100 if they do manage to walk into the safe room. I'm not sure who it was that shot that ATM, but it was definitely detrimental to their score here, and they will be going down by even more points.
What the hell was that? I don't know where that spit exactly went, but this Jockey is going to get killed. Charter is the last thing they even had to spawn, not going to get. And again, Team Serenity making the map. Very little bonus left, though. And they are going to find themselves behind by just under 1,400 points now, going into the finale of Dead Before Dawn here on the North American server. That's a nice lead from HCP. It's what we expect to see from them. They've completely reversed their tide. But now the question is, can they continue that on the finale? The finale is worth a lot of points. There's a lot of running that needs to be done. I haven't seen it completed in a very long time, but HCP can definitely be the team to do that. And again, Serenity keeping pace, though, by making those safe rooms. I'll say it again. That's showing that even though HCP is playing the way they are on the home server, Serenity is keeping it very close, relatively.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, you said at the beginning of the map that, on average, HCP comes out of their, the EU game. They comes out of the EU game with about a 1,200 point deficit or so. And so it's looking that they're going to be coming out of this game with an advantage, depending on how they do on the Survivor on this finale here. Potentially pretty similar deficit for Team Serenity to make. And if you look at what happened last week with the huge score reversal that Team HCP did, Team Serenity, they are also exactly the same type of team that can make that kind of score differential happen. So regardless of any kind of huge deficit that may be existing at the end of this finale, I think Team Serenity is up to the task.
Here they are, and that's going to be with the EU server game happening directly after this, I'm pretty sure, after we're done the North American server game. Team HCP on the Survivor side, Team Serenity on Special Infected, Hunter, Spitter, Charger, and a Jockey for the hit here from Team Serenity. Hunter spawning in the left-hand corner over there, pre-spit actually, going into the safe room for some reason, not entirely sure, and that's going to cause HCP to push their way outside. Hunter getting, oh my goodness, that Hunter, that Charger, and then that Jockey did manage to land, but K3, that Hunter jumped in, and all 4 shotguns converged on him.
Yeah, I'm with Kissme here. I didn't know that a Hunter was even in the spawn rotation. I mean, when you're in a situation like that, you might as well just forget that a Hunter even exists. Like, against Team HCP, with probably like 4 of the best Hunter dispatchers in the world, all with chrome shotguns with a solo Hunter, it's got pretty much no chance, regardless of who you are. So, yeah, I mean, we do have a very nice pop going out here onto or by Dusty onto Salty, and I do believe there's an early tank here that they're gonna have to fight off before starting this event.
I don't believe so, actually. I believe the tank's at 88% here, and I'm not exactly sure if they are going to have to wait or not, but there's a pole going out, instantly cleared. Hunter gets blown out of the sky by the team. Jockey gets focused next, and oh my goodness, does the survivor play by HCP, all the skeets, they don't even need to level the charger. The guns kill the charger before the charger lands. That's even more impressive in my opinion. They're going to start the event, I believe, and now they're going to work their way over to here. I don't know if they're going to play in this room or not? Oh boy.
Oh, I'm confused because I thought this was a running event.
It is, but I'm not. I think they're gonna take a hit here first, and then decide to move their way forward. I'm not entirely sure, but Jockey, Charger, Hunter, and a Spitter for this hit. It is a running event. I'm intrigued because, okay, if they pre-spit that room, then we'll see what happens, but they're just chilling out, and the Hunter's working its way forward. They're gonna back up into the room. Charger going in, gonna get melted, and the spit is gonna land as well onto Ellis for a little bit, but I guess that is what they're gonna do because that's a hit out of the way. Okay, interesting call by HCP, and it worked out for them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, originally I thought that there was an early tank that spawned here, or at least there definitely used to be one, but I guess they removed that, and so Team Serenity is only going to have one tank later on in this map to work with to try to take down the currently 1,600 point bonus that Team HCP has after these first few hits, which, by the way, they've completely destroyed. And yeah, I mean, Team Serenity just looking for any kind of damage onto the survivors. Yeah, I'm very confused. They look just as confused as I do, to be completely honest.
Okay, so this is an old-fashioned strat. I believe Kekri used to do this, right? And there's a single boom going out. Charger gets leveled. Hunter is trying to get skied again. They are doing this thing where, okay, it used to be on Detour Ahead and Parish now are the two other parts where I've seen it. And what you do is you take a hit, then you move forward, and you stand at a choke point. So yeah, it's a gauntlet event, but then you treat it like a holdout event at each one of the spots that they choose. The first one was by that room there, the second one's gonna be here. They're gonna do the same thing after they move past this alarm car, I'm pretty sure. Then they're gonna chill here probably and take a hit. Or they're gonna actually move their way up to here. I hear the tank music starting, right? And the methodology behind it is when you stand here and take a hit, now they're going to do it in this area, right? It's you make the SI come to you and you're not moving when they come in. And that also chills out the horde for a second.
Yeah, very, very interesting strategy. I mean, usually you just see teams just gunning it through these events, trying to get through as fast as possible. And usually taking a ton of damage in the process. But Team HCP making it through all the way to the tank spawn with very extremely minimal damage.
Now there's no horde.
Yeah, now there's no horde because the tank is about to spawn. And we do have a charger going in there. It's actually going to not get anything, just like all the previous chargers. And another hit just completely shut down. And now this tank is in probably one of the worst situations.
Dusty that Hunter when he was getting up from a charge. Like I think Kissme caught that too. Yeah, he was getting out of the charge animation and he skied the Hunter. The tank's in the hands of Miro. And HCP, I guess they're going to fight it. I'm actually curious as to where they're going to fight. They know the tank is above them. And they're actually just going to start pushing their way forward. I assume one of these 8 million props is hittable. I'm not exactly sure which one it is, to be completely honest. And okay, they're going to do this. Smoker Pull goes in, not going in, but they've also moved a little bit too far forward, and they've restarted at least a little bit of the horde.
Yeah, I think the horde is going to wear off sooner or later. But that boomer will be getting popped. I think almost all of the props around here, like that dumpster and the little tiny box thingy, I think those are all hittable, but I think last time I remember, I think they were like parachutables. I'm not sure if that was changed or reversed or whatever. But Miro right now, sitting at very low percent. He's going to have to commit here. Try to go. This looks like it will be
interesting.
Yeah,
that dumpster almost getting to the top right there.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be easy corners here for Miro. He will get that secure out onto Dusty. He might get punched out though. Miro not finding his marks anymore. The support is now getting shut down, and they can't find Nick.
Super's completely alone.
Yeah, Super completely alone.
What the? Okay, all right. What was that? I don't know what that was, but he tried hitting the hittables to start. Then Super was completely alone, shut down the jockey and juked the charger, and then all of his where is him? Someone get me Hector Estrada. I need to find where he is because I don't know what that was, K3, but that was some divine intervention going out right there onto Super. I cannot believe he didn't get killed.
I was just calmly casting this thing, and then I just lost all sense of everything. I just could not comprehend exactly what just happened there, because I'm not personally a religious man, but I don't know how really else to to describe what just happened because Super not getting hit by any of those hitables after being like completely pushed into that corner by the SI that he was solo shutting down.
Same.
And now Team HCP sitting at an over 1,000 bonus with like one more hit to take, and this is everything. They're going to want to take this as slowly as possible because Team Serenity they want this health gone. They want to just destroy this health so badly right now because they cannot let Team HCP walk in here with such a massive bonus.
They're baiting it again. This is exactly what you want to see from HCP's side of things. It's Survivor Clinic. One Survivor is outside now. Spit going down, going to land for a split second. There's the jockey getting killed. We do have a solo pounce going into the back right there. And is that a... No way. Is that a death drop? Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
No
That's
way.
That's going to be a death on the purple. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if they can get back or not. I don't. Maybe
I don't think they can.
I don't think they can.
They keep trying, and this is a death onto
purple screwed up.
Yeah, I think an extremely rare thing to see from a player like Purple of all people, and Purple being in the back there gets solo pounced. The survivors were so like absorbed in the fact that they wanted to like bait out the hit forever and take it super slowly that, you know, as soon as the SI came in, they all dropped fast, and Purple just getting capped there in the back by himself. And holy smokes, he gets killed off, and what was originally a 1,000 bonus in one hit drops down to a 500 bonus. And you know how I mentioned that Serenity wants to destroy that health? They kind of did.
Yeah, they really did. There's a single boom going as well. Hunter, Charger, and Jockey going in. Charger's gonna land! Jockey is not gonna find the target though. Hunter lands on the same target. And here comes the van, question mark, hitting Rochelle, and that would have been a death in any other world besides Left 4 Dead 2 world, but I digress. It's Left 4 Dead 2 world. Now this van is still kind of working its way around, away from the survivors right here, and is now going to plow back through the center. That should be the end of the finale. Indeed it is. So that's going to be Team HCP making the escape van right there, but only with 3. That's pretty important. Again, they had like an over, as you mentioned, over 1,000 point health bonus before Purple died. And I don't know, that finale looks pretty simple to make from the survivor side of things as we see this van kind of stroll its way through the distance right here, finally making its way out through the side. How long is this ending animation? I haven't seen it in a very long time. Now it's going to end, but that's still 5,683 points from the healthcare professionals. Yeah, that's a 1,275 point ending chapter, even with Purple dead.
Yeah, I mean, you saw like Team ACP making like 400 so points off of the first chapter. They made like over 5,000 points in 4 maps, which is absolutely insane.
That's right, 5,200 points in 4 maps.
Yeah, I mean,
what? How is that a thing?
This is absolutely nutty. And I mean, it would have been a 6K too had Purple not died at the end. So, you know, I mean, definitely misplay on Team HCP's side. First of all, I don't think knowing that maybe that was a death drop, and I mean, amazing capitalization there by Team Serenity to get that kill and to really mitigate the number of points that Team HCP was able to make. But regardless of all that mitigation, they're still up going into Serenity's survivor side by 2,600 points, and you know, I'd say that's definitely more than insignificant lead.
Yeah, I mean, this finale is makeable, though. I mean, we saw how HCP did it. Obviously, Team Serenity is on the ping, and also on the back foot from the momentum side of things, but even if they make it with 4 survivors, I could honestly see them beating that bonus. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, with Serenity's caliber, I could see them beating that bonus on the finale here on the away server. Like, it could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, like, we've seen the kind of survivor play that, even with the high ping, that Team Serenity is capable of. So I definitely agree with you, especially if they manage to, you know, make it to that tank and then destroy the tank in the kind of similar way that Team ACP did. Because, you know, I doubt that they're going to be repeating some of the mistakes that ACP did. And, you know, once we go over to that European server, not only is it a chance to play with a higher ping, but it's also a chance to learn from your past mistakes. And, you know, maybe if you had a little bit of map unawareness, you know, like spawning in a closet that you can't break out of and things like, and little things like that, things that you won't be repeating once you play again. So, you know, it's that chance to take what you've learned and start applying it and making those adaptations that you need in order to take home this grand finals.
Exactly, and now we are going to be going live here, Team Serenity on the Survivor side for the last half of the first game between these two teams. Jockey getting M2'd and shut down. Charter going into the safe room, getting a stumble right there for 4 damage. And now the Charter is going to be chipped on the outside. Hunter trying to work its way out. Early hits from both teams really going in, I would say. Hunter's going to get wall banged as well and shut down. So Serenity starting off pretty strong. This tank is crucial, I would say.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, I don't think it's very easy at all to really get much damage before the tank. And the points on this map just tick up so fast. You know, like, we saw from Team HCP, they took maybe like, what, 2-3 hits before they were able to make it through that tank during that event. So, you know, the ball, I think, is in Team Serenity's court for the Survivor side to be able to make up a lot of points here, which they really need to do. We do have the stick coming in here. Smoker is going to go out onto Coach in the back, which is going to get cleared off really quickly. Spit did land on top of Miro, who was charged briefly, and I believe the jockey also got shut down. So pretty solid damage going there out onto Miro, and I think they're going to want to take a little bit less damage than that if they're going to try to mitigate the amount of damage that the tank has to take off of them.
Yeah, and I mean, HCP obviously knew exactly what they wanted to do from that situation. I assume Serenity will know the same, and they are doing a little bit of hardcore parkour to jump over these fences. Let's see if they, and we actually have a pause going up because I believe Super did indeed crash, so that's going to pretty much hurt the next hit from HCP on this. I don't know if it was going to be like another charge spit potential or something like that, but instead, now Serenity might be able to chill in this bottom area and take a hit similar to what HCP did, but they're already setting up in their room, it looks like, actually on the side.
Yeah, I guess probably expecting Team Serenity to hold it out in the same spot that, or at least hold out the first hit in the same spot that Team HCP did, because, hey, I mean, it worked out pretty well for them, so I guess expecting them to emulate their hardcore strategies.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, that's the right kind of strategy to employ on this finale like this when it's a running finale, because like it stops the horde, it lets you kill the horde in one place, and everybody stands still and just shoots everything. Super is now back in the game, so we should be going live in a couple of seconds. Indeed, Dane already readied up, and HCP are the ones who we're waiting on. It'll be interesting to see exactly who gets that tank as well, because again, Miro's tank didn't really do a whole lot in that area, even though the hittables, again, a little bit of divine intervention there, not landing. If HCP can somehow finagle a wipe at that tank, that would be absolutely astronomical.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be huge. They'd be looking at, you know, like a nearly 2,000 point lead going into their away game. And, you know, I mean, even though there is a pretty big ping differential, the ping gap isn't that big. It's like 50-60 ping between all of them. We do have this hit going in here. It's gonna get, that charger's gonna get cleared off of Miro very quickly. Jockey here is gonna get M2 to shut down, and this Boomer is all alone in the worst position for Boomer to be. He does manage to get that one boom onto MC, but it does look like the survivors are gonna start pushing forward here.
Indeed they are, and now they are going to run into this horde. They're still trying to clear off one survivor in the back a little bit. The rest of the hit should be coming in soon, because I think they're going to have one more before tank. Super is saying that he is stuck, and never mind, they're good. Okay, Smoker, Hunter, Spitter, and a Jockey for the next hit coming out right here. Hunter spawning in the front. Nice Smoker pull, nice double cap. We have tri-cap landing on a Team Serenity from HCP. That Jockey in the front still going. These commenters destroying Rochelle. Miro's gonna get jockeyed all the way around this white van. A huge amount of damage from that K3. A beautiful tri-cap.
Yeah, full in cap going on onto Miro. He had like, what, 60-70 health going into that hit. You know, Hunter landing in a very, what looked like a pretty difficult spot for Hunter to land with Coach, or I guess with, it looked like MC, who was stuck up in that little tiny gap by the window. Plus, Thug Life getting pulled in the horde by the Smoker, and just a ton of damage going out there. They will find some extra pills here to help them out here, but we do have to take them in. It doesn't look like they're able to break that wall as they might have thought that they could. Spit going down on top of the Hunter, though, in the horde. That will be some more damage onto MC, but Pop going out onto Purple and a shutdown on the Chargers. So, you know, Team Serenity is saying, okay, we just took a lot of damage, but we did not ever do that again if we want to be able to take this.
Indeed, now the tank music has started, and the tank is going to be up soon. I believe the horde is at a standstill right now. Let's see exactly who, actually, never mind, I lied. The horde is maybe trying to find its way in? Yeah, it's a little bit in front right now, interestingly enough, and maybe it's just going to be despawning, but Serenity's going to be able to take this forward position. We'll see exactly who the tank is going to be in a matter of seconds. The big tank coming up, Grand Finals Tankerino right here on the finale of Dead Before Dawn. Boomer going in, gets a single boom, and it is Super's tank as well. Let's send it over right now to an HCP Worm, because he might be committing with this.
Go for it.
Just going. Just going. I'm right there. Wait. Oh, you're baiting?
I was just respawn. Just
Wait,
wait.
wait, just wait. Alright.
Oh, we gotta go.
Help,
We
help,
gotta
help.
go.
I got a guy in the corner.
You killed me.
Got it, Danny.
You gotta get your corners, dude.
Wow, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, from that HCP Worm. Supra missed his corner right there. That was almost a guarantee down onto Miro. There was still Horde coming in, but instead it ends up being not even really like an in-cap going out on that. That's huge, because now Serenity doesn't get someone dead at that choke point that we saw Purple get killed at. K3, they could win this finale.
They most certainly can, but they're gonna have to get past these next few hits first. We do have a Boomer going out in the front. Hunter is going to land out onto Miro there for a little bit. Spit looks like it's not gonna connect though, because Miro is on top of that car. And so the survivors are gonna get past that with only taking about 70 points of health off of their bonus. And I mean, you look at how well they took that tank, and even though they took that tank extremely well, that it really speaks numbers as to how crucial the in cap was on Miro before. Yeah, and they're going all the way past the choke. It's a charge split. It's going to take Rochelle all the way out to the side here.
Donnie.
That is one of their biggest health bonuses, and they just
What a hit!
What is happening? They had like
Donnie
600.
might die! Donnie is getting pounded by that Charger. Charger's not clear. Donnie is... Oh my god, he's at like 1 HP down. He could actually bleed out before they pick him up. Miro's not going to pop his pills. I see him just slowly declining right there.
Whoa, he has 1 health. He has
Oh my god, he had 1 HP on the cap!
I'm just speechless. They had 600 points, and now they have 24.
They have
In the-
6 bonus! Oh my god. Yo, that... Okay, so they had everything going for them right there. That was going to be a bleed out reference going maybe from Kissme as well. Here's the truck, there's the Hunter landing. K3, they threw all their bonus at the same place practically that Purple died.
They had the map, and they just didn't keep their composure. An amazing charge going out there, capitalizing on Donnie's very, very slight separation, taking him all the way out. He had 2 health, or like 1 or 2 health left while in-capped when they got that pickup. But I mean, regardless, they have 6 bonus now. Before with the previous hit, they had 600.
That's
and,
absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's just... And I think, honestly, like, had they not taken that in-cap earlier with the jockey onto Miro, their damage bonus would have been more intact going into that hit, and so I think they would have still had some more points going in here. So, you know, those little hits that end up doing, like, you know, pretty sizable damage, showing exactly how useful they can be, and allowing the survivors to not get any points back. And now Team Serenity is going to be down by nearly over 1,800 points going into their home server.
Yes, they are. I believe they still do have a little bit of bonus right there, because I think there's so much bonus on this that it rounds like a percentage up or something like that. We'll see if they actually get any bonus from that, because it said 6. Actually, no, their bonus is depleted, so 5,683 to 3,864 going into the European server. Let's see exactly what happens with it, because we are going right there next, I believe. K3 HCP did what they need to do on the home server. Now, can they clinch it on the away?
It's difficult to say because, you know, like you say, oh, Team Serenity did do, for the most part, what they needed to do on their away server. But, I just realized what you said, and that it was Team HCP that definitely did exactly what they needed to do. And I definitely agree with you. And I mean, Team Serenity, they made like pretty much every safe room except for map 2 where they did get wiped out. And you know, I mean, that by itself is an extremely impressive performance to do on your away server. But I just think that their SI side just wasn't as together as it may have needed to be at a couple of key little instances where Team HCP made the safe room with such high bonus and was able to make the score gap as wide as it is right now.
Indeed, and we are about to be getting on that server next. I'm going to quickly run some numbers here and some high-level mathematical calculations to see exactly what the specific delta is.
We will have that.
It looked like 1,820 or so.
Hi, Kissme.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there. I just want to take a quick jab in here. But yeah, guys, we're going to go ahead and hop over to the next game. Going to go and cut this VOD right here. And we will go ahead and start things back up when we get into the next game. So we will see you guys in a few minutes.